Hi, and welcome back to the Become Limitless podcast. This week's episode, I want to talk about chi, and however else you want to say it, prana, life energy, the divine energy that runs through us. Whatever you call it, or you might not be even aware of, this energy that we have flowing through our bodies, and it's something I wanted to talk about. And that's something I wanted to define for you and to give you a bit more of an understanding again, like I always do. So in this episode, I wanted to just cover what this chi, this energy is that runs through our body is, what different cultures call this energy as well. I just wanted to give you a bit of a background on that because, again, how long has it been around? How long have we been talking about these energies of the body in these different cultures? How long has it been around? We don't know. I'll have to answer that question for you in this episode. Why should we care? Why should I care about this energy in our bodies? And then let's do a meditation at the end where we can start to feel this energy, gain awareness of this energy. So sit tight, let's get straight into it, hey? What am I talking about? Now, as I said before, there's got many different names and many different cultures. We'll get into that shortly, but the energy, that life force, the chi, it's in every living organism, every living thing on this planet and everywhere else. It's the energy that gives us coherence. It gives us the body the ability to do what it does and create life, sustain life. You know, you've got trillions and trillions of cells dying and being replaced throughout your day, maybe even hour. So there's a process going on there. How do you know that's happening? Well, you're still alive. If that wasn't happening, then you'd be dead. And it all happens perfectly in sync. For some people, it might be a bit out of balance. So we're going to start hinting towards why we want it. It's so important. But this energy allows us to keep everything intact, keep everything in alignment, keep everything in balance. And your brain does a lot of this information. And it's consciousness that allows us to be aware of who we are. But we've got these programs running in the background that automatically do these things. And there's a level of energy inside your body that allows you to do these things and keeps it obviously balanced and coherent. So this energy is what flows through our body constantly, and it's outside of us as well. And when you obviously start to sense this energy a bit more, you'll be aware of other people's energy as well. And you probably already have been aware of other people's energies. When someone walks into a room and they light up the room or they bring it down, you could sense that without even talking to them, without even being too close to them. I know I've got a friend, they're an amazing person. When they walk into a room, they light it up, they bubbly, their energy just is exuberant out of their body. You can feel it, and he brings everyone in the party up a level. So that's the kind of energy I'm talking about. Or you sense something off about a person, and I just can't put my finger on it. I just, you know what, I don't trust that person, or whatever the case may be. That's an energy, an exchange of energy between you and the other person, and that's why you could sense these things before you even talk to a person. So listen to those energies as well, because they're a very good indicator of a person's intentions or actions or what they want to do or how the person is actually living. Whether they're a truthful person, whether you can just tell, can't you? You can just tell if it's a good or bad person in their intentions. Now, let's get into the origins, or how long it's been around, and what other cultures call this energy. Now, I did mention chi before, and obviously chi either can spell CHI or QI, and it's a vital energy that's held to animate the body. As I said, it keeps the body the way it is. It keeps the body, the face looking the way, the skin cells, all those things in check. It is of central importance in Eastern styles of medical treatment and exercise and self-defense. So you've seen it, you've got the the chi movements they use about like martial arts, kung fu. It's all about chi. Exercise, they do the Qui-Gon and the movement of the chi through the body, and then very much so in their medical treatment, in Eastern medical treatments. And this stuff's been around for thousands and thousands of years. They've been practicing these things and understanding the chi. So it's been around a long, 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 long time. A lot longer than you could expect. Like, because if you think about Western medicine, like your medical side of things now, so that's only been around 200 maybe odd years. So them practicing these medical treatments when it comes to chi and things have been around for 4,000 years. It's been around for a long, long time. So why I mention that, why do I mention that as importance? I believe that there's a balance. Like, you've got the brand new Western medicine that's really good at fixing bones and doing things like that, but when it comes to longer, more chronic style diseases and things like that, where we don't have an answer yet in modern medicine, we might need to look back at towards what was done earlier in maybe Eastern cultures. So there's also life force, which has been a fairly new term come into effect, and that means the energy flowing through each living organism, and that comes from a European origins. So you're looking at all the European countries. Now, we also can look at Prana, which is from obviously India, and that's a yoga type of concept, talk, and it's the life breath or vital principle in a person, with a lot of Hindu religious properties coming from a lot of that background. Any of those, any of the three or more vital currents in the body, that's what Prana talks about. There's different vital currents in the body, and the principle of moving that life force through the human body. And that, again, that comes back to the yoga and things like that, being and moving the body in certain ways, exercise or yoga, that promotes this flow of energy throughout the body. So, and that's been around for, again, thousands and thousands of years. Slightly different approaches, as you can see from these first two examples, but very similar understandings of what's going on inside the body. Mana, also, is the power of the elemental forces of nature embodied in an object or person. Now, that again, energy in every living thing, and the earth is a living thing. The planet's like, so the planet's a living thing, the environment's a living thing, it's an organism, especially rainforests. It's crazy how interconnected they all are. Everything is in that rainforest. They're all living things, and we are connected to that. So mana means that connection, that embodiment, those elemental forces inside you. They can talk about heat, fire, water, wind, all those different things, and rock, earth inside you, and how the energies are different throughout your body, and how what they do differently. Having a fire energy gives you more go, or does a calming and flow with what's going on in life. Obviously, those things tend to have a negative connotation right now when it comes to those things. It's like, oh, that's just woo-woo or rubbish. But I wanted to bring your attention to all this stuff because it does have origins from like thousands of years. Again, I keep saying thousands and thousands of years ago. And just because what we do now doesn't mean we can't complement it. We shouldn't throw it under the bus. We shouldn't get rid of it, because I think it's very important that we take care of this vital energy that flows through us, regardless of how it's represented in these different cultures and religions. Naima, or Nayema, if I'm saying that correctly, from Western Africa. It's a force is seen as an important pure power, the universal energy that inhabits all living things. Again, very similar definition or understanding of what this energy is that lives inside us, this force that's life force that lives inside us. Aura, which comes from Russia, it's a distinctive atmosphere surrounding a person. That's obviously an energy field that is held to emanate from the living being or of that person. So it illuminates, so it surrounds the person, and you can tell what their mood is. And it goes back to that Maya, where it's the elemental forces. If they've got a red aura, they're fiery, they're angry, you can sense their energy from a distance. So these all are interconnected, and they've been around for ages. The Russian one, I'm not entirely sure. I couldn't find when that originated, the idea of the aura. Shivlet, or is a subtle energy as the animating principle of life. Again, very similar to the Chinese system as well, but the Mayan, it's a Mayan principle. The Shivalel. Sorry, I'm hopeless with pronouncing these kind of things. But again, it's a subtle energy that's animating the principle of life. Like it's the principle of life. It's what gives us life. This energy that flows through us. So there's many different names. There's many different other things. There's heaps of other names for in religious circles and cultural circles. In different, like in Australia, for example, there's many different examples of different names for these things. This life force, this energy, this chi that flows through us. There's so many different names for it, but they all have a very similar definition for what it is. It's something that's outside or around us, so we can sense from a distance, as I was talking about earlier in the episode. It's what keeps us together. It's very important. It dictates, like, so what we feeling, the moods we have, the fire, the water, the earth, that wind. What are we sensing? How we feel? Do we feel light when we're with the wind energy? We feel light and ready to power through the day. All those different things, very similar. All these different names and different religions and cultures, very similar definitions. So what's that tell you? There must be something there then, obviously, if they've got these very similar. Every one of these cultures, obviously, not like now where we can influence and talk to different cultures now. Back then, there was no influencing or talking to different cultures. You were stuck in, like, you were where you were is where you grew up and what your beliefs were. You couldn't be influenced by anything outside of the area you were because we weren't connected back then. So these things had to be pretty well undeniable. Like, they had to be there. Like, for people to have this very similar understanding of all these, of the body and this life force, well, it had to be coming from a unique source. We had to have all the same information coming in and everyone interpret the same way. So it's very important that we really understand that this life force that they hold such similar definitions for, and understand that this subtle energy that's running around the body throughout all living things allows us to be connected to everything as well. It allows us to feel good when we go into nature. Why does camping feel so good? Why does getting out of the city and going into the fresh air feel so good? It's a rejuvenation of this energy. It's a connection of this energy to living things. It's really important that we do it and that we understand that we've got it, because it can be a bit of a unforeseen thing that we start to get down, we start to feel rubbish. And a good way to recharge is you have your holidays, you go do these things, and you don't even know you're doing it most of the time. So I'm trying to create awareness around what you're actually doing when you go camping, or you go out in the ocean. The ocean is a good one for supercharging as well. Getting that sea breeze and sea water into you as well. It's really good. You can get supercharged from it. So I want to go to a science background now, why I believe that there's definitely an energy there that's obviously keeping us intact and lets everything stay in this lovely, amazing chaos as it is, life is, but still balanced. Still, everything seems to flow nicely. As much as at this point in time in life everything seems to be like a bit crazy, but it all seems to have a purpose. It all seems to point towards a certain direction and show us where we want to go and where we need to go. And an atom, we've got to think about an atom. That's how I like to look at it. Like, let's go to one of the smallest, like pretty much one of the smallest things in our bodies. We're made up of atoms. All our elements, the chemicals, are all made up of atoms, and we're made up of thousands and thousands of chemicals in our body. So these atoms, in a nutshell, are, well, how can I describe this? There's a nucleus inside, and then there's an electron cloud around the outside of it. And they call it a cloud now. You might have seen the electrons are running around the outside from science back in your high school. And you got the nucleus here, made of protons and neutrons. Now I want to make sure I got that right. Yes, that's protons and neutrons. Now, the protons and neutrons and then the electrons that are a cloud really only make up of 99.99999% of it. Make up, sorry, 0.0000000%, 0.01% of that mass of that atom, or what is made up of the atom is that proton, neutron, so the nucleus, then the electrons. So the rest is energy. The rest is this wave, this energy that you have in this proton that make up 99.999% of that. And I love the little fact that I like to come into talk about is that, and I will put a picture up just so you can understand what I'm talking about with an atom right now on the YouTube, obviously YouTube video. But to understand it, if you take away all that energy, that empty space they used to call, and you do that for every human being, the human race could go into the size of a grain of rice. When we take away all that empty, that energy, that space away, obviously we've got a better understanding that the electrons don't just whiz around the outside of the atom. It's an actual cloud, but it's also energy. It's part of this energy that happens in the quantum field. And the quantum field is some craziness that goes on there. But I will do an episode on the quantum field and what actually happens there and what's actually we think's happening there, because it's pretty unpredictable, and it's the effect that we can then think it's because we know it's unpredictable, and it all depends on what we're observing. So it's electron cloud, nucleus, and 99.9999% of that atom is energy. The rest is just energy. So what makes up us is energy. In essence, it's energy. So as you saw in that picture just before, there's just energy. There's more energy than there is actual matter to us. So obviously the lower energy, and this leads into my next topic, why should we care about this energy? Well, because it makes us up. Yes, we have matter, but majority of us is energy. We're energy. We're vibrating energy. Whether we can consciously perceive that or not is not up to, or whether we can or not. It's like, oh, I can't see wind, but how do I know it's there? Kind of thing. It's there. We're made up of this energy, and it's very important that we look after this energy as well. So, not looking after this energy, not looking after ourselves, not eating the right foods, not going out and getting into nature, all these different things we can do to build our energy, to build this vital energy, to work on our chi. It's very important that we look after it, we keep it flowing, we keep it light, we keep it our energy, our chi really powerful and positive for ourselves, because it's what we're made up of. So now that we know what that we're made up of, I want to do a short meditation where we start to get a bit of a awareness of our chi, of our energy, and so that you can understand. If you've never really noticed it before, you can actually sense it when we do this meditation. So what I want you to do is just find yourself a nice relaxing spot to sit down, where you can close your eyes if you need to, or do whatever you're going to do, but nice comfortable spot. So obviously if you're driving listening to this, you will need to pause this and listen to this at a later date where you can sit down and relax. Slow breaths. So breathing in through the nose. And exhale. 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 In through the nose again. And exhale for the last breathe out. Alright, make sure you stay nice and calm and relaxed. What I want you to do now is bring your awareness with your thoughts to your hands. Wherever your hands may be sitting, just be aware of where they're sitting. What are they touching? How are they sitting? Are they facing up? Are they facing down? Have you got them interlaced with your fingers? However they are, I just want you to be aware of those fingers. Now, the longer you sit here, and the longer you keep awareness on your hands, the longer you'll start to feel different sensations flowing through your hands. What can you feel? Is it a tickling? Is it a fire? What sensations do you feel? Make sure you keep your awareness on your hands. The longer you sit here, the stronger and stronger these sensations will become. Remember to keep breathing quietly and calmly, keeping that awareness in your hands. Enjoy this quietness. Enjoy feeling these sensations in your hands. Feeling the power, feeling the fire, feeling that tingle, electric feeling. Enjoy it. For this is the life, force, chi, energy running through your body. Alright, we're going to slowly come out of this relaxive state. Okay, I hope you really enjoyed that episode. That's the end. I hope you enjoyed the meditation at the end, and if you did, cut it. Get those little snippets and re-listen to those meditations over and over so you can gain that feeling in your fingers that you will get if you keep at it. If you didn't this time, don't stress about it. It's okay. It may take time for you to calm the brain down, to really focus and create awareness and be aware of those hands and being aware of the feeling of your fingers. And it took me a long time to do it. So I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed recording this. Until next time, stay limitless.